Hey everyone, thank you for stopping by Living To Do's review of Married at First Sight Season 18 Reunion Part 2, the Chicago Reunion. Before I get started with the review, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it, and I thank you in advance. So let's talk about it. This wasn't an explosive reunion. For some reason, I thought it was going to be, but it really wasn't. This reunion started where the last episode left off, where Kevin is talking to Michelle and David, still talking about the text, the mysterious text that she received, talking about that he wanted to eat her up. Now, what was interesting about that, both Kevin and Michelle still believe that, with a text like that, you would have had a snack before, is what they said. And that just makes sense, but David said he flirted with Madison once before the text, or spent some time with her once before the text, and once after the text, when he spent time with her and her cousin or friend or something like that. They're not clear on the timeline. It's so foggy. Why, we don't know. Kevin asked them about success and what it meant to them. Michelle, she said health meant success, but finances did too. And Kevin asked, did what she saw in his finances, did that scare her? Did the numbers scare her? And she said that they did. And she thought that, living at home, that the numbers should have been more than what they were. And I think, was she wrong to see those numbers? And she just couldn't go out on faith, living with a man, staying married to a man, trying to make something work out with a man who, in his late stage in life, living with parents and just didn't have money to show for, and had no future. And should she just ignore the common sense red flags that she sees? I don't know if we expect her to do that. I just don't think so. David, I believe, wanted to prove that he was more than what Michelle thought of him, talking about he now owns an investment property out in Iowa where his brother lives. Iowa, that must be dirt cheap though. Anyway, he also wanted us to know how wonderful he is to Madison, that she doesn't want for anything when they step out. He pays for everything, though he also mentioned that Madison is the breadwinner. How much longer is she going to put up with that? She's younger and the breadwinner. Madison might be just young and dumb. And I also wonder where Madison was while Michelle and David were being interviewed. Who was she in the green room with? Since I don't think she's, everyone's cup of tea. So afterwards, Kevin spoke to Carla and Juan. First of all, in the last few days, I've seen Juan on social media talking about Carla's family and how he's being treated by them. I guess attacking him, saying negative things about him and how he treated Carla, and I guess maybe even stepping to him in his new relationship. So it's getting so bad has taken legal action against them, or he's ready to. He has an attorney. So what is so bad over there that you got Juan this upset that he is willing to take legal action? That's just too much. I never thought I'd see the day. Well, anyway, he talked very highly of Carla, and, they basically just didn't get along. They talked about their tantric instructor. He didn't think it was needed. Carla felt it was, because she wasn't just there to have them or make them or find ways for them to be closer to have sex, but to open up and connect in other ways. Carla feels that she's left an impression on Juan. He has gone solo camping to get closer to nature and get grounded, so she feels that she played a part in that. Unfortunately, they weren't the couple that I'd hoped they'd be. So let's get on to, they had a group scene where Kevin talked to the men, the Chicago men, and past filming, they say they were still getting along as friends. They talked about who had the most swag, and most people thought Ikechi did, but Ikechi thought that Thomas did, and I would have to agree with Ikechi. I like Thomas's swag. The group of men talked about the text that David sent to Michelle by mistake, and they're all laughing about it. They're showing clips of it. Juan saying it was a bad text, a bad lie, and he should have said to Madison or to Michelle that that text was for her in a way to shoot his shot. Everybody's laughing about it. I think Alan kind of did, but it seemed they made it seem, I don't know if it was editing, that he wasn't like, he was the least ha-ha about it. And he should be. I don't know if he's at a point where we can laugh at, destruction of a relationship he was trying to work on, but whatever. When we're in this segment, Ikechi, he comes out and he finally admits that he is single. He's been single for over a year. He's just been doing him solo painting and whatnot and just healing and what, I guess. Kevin brought up if David and Madison get married, would they invite David or would they invite Alan? Alan said he wouldn't go. I don't know why we keep pushing this. I just think it's hurtful. I don't know if Kevin even considered that as a possibility. But I wondered if they do get married, if Madison and David would still send him an invitation. Not to be mean. I can say this. I don't even think they would send it to be mean, but just in case he does want to show up, that they would extend the invite. Now, we did learn when the guys were talking, they were asked Thomas where he gets his relationship advice, and Thomas claims that he gets it from Juan and David. Not David. What value could he add? In the next scene, we have Michelle and Alan talking to the experts along with Kevin. They called them, before they got to their seats, the disrupted couple. Of course, they're apologetic into how things went for them. Michelle did say she wishes that she treated David better. And she thought that the text was for her. So dumb David, if you would have just said, yeah, I was out drinking or whatever, and it would make sense that you would send your wife a text. Maybe it was too early in the relationship, but you would think something like that would have been directed to her anyway, and you could have seen what she would have said to that. And what if she changed her tune when she got that text, and when it was really intended for Madison? What would you do then when you did flirt with her already? So what would you be playing both women at the same time? That also hasn't been seen in Married at First Sight history too. Michelle was able to ask the experts one question, and I guess it was a rumor that Madison and David were originally matched up, and I guess she and Alan were matched up, and at the last minute, for whatever reason, they switched it. So I don't know who started that. Somebody on production maybe. Pastor Cal was quick to say that was not true. There was no way they would have matched Madison with David and Dr. Pia jumped in saying because she didn't, race was a factor for her, so they would have never matched someone, a white person, like with a black person if black was not an option. They wouldn't have just given you that. Okay, in the next segment, we had Emem and Ikechi. And Ikechi was able to admit that he didn't want Emem. After hearing that, MM felt robbed of the process, that somebody wasn't in it, to work the process and be turned off so early in the relationship, perhaps. And then that's when the clown foolery ensued, when there was an open chair between MM and Ikechi, and Brandon walked in. And as soon as Brandon started to walk in, Ikechi walked out. Brandon extended his hand to shake Ikechi's hand, and Ikechi just walked right past him. So what smoke could Ikechi have with Brandon at this point? They never asked, it was never clear why he acted that way. Do you feel some type of way towards Brandon? Because Brandon didn't do anything, I don't think, right? So Brandon sits down. He's talking to the experts. Experts think the relationship happened too fast. Brandon was just oversharing, acting real silly. And he got up to ask Pastor Cal to marry him. And MM, right then, right now, he wanted to go home on the plane with MM as his wife. So that leads me to believe that he is divorced at this point, because I know you wouldn't be asking Pastor Cal to marry you when you're already married. And one thing I noticed is the way MM was acting around Brandon. He's acting really foolish. She's very still in her chair, and she's not really looking at him. He wants, he gives her a kiss, just overdoing it, showing her affection. MM disclosed and shared with us that they asked her if she wants to start a family, and she just recently had a miscarriage, and she was 14 weeks along. So I am so sorry, MM, to hear about that. Truly, my condolences. I think, she's a human being. She's a woman. She carried a child. I believe she's a mother, and that is devastating. If anything, I know she really wanted the family, and I can see, it seems like by any means necessary. Nevertheless, she was with child and lost her child, and I'm so sorry. But that doesn't change my feelings on Brandon, who I think would be so happy to have gotten MM pregnant, to solidify his self in his place in her life, because I think he would try to solidify his place in a scammy type of way. And so I do hope that's not true. I know she met his children, and so they seem to get along with her well, but I hope he is not trying to use her, and that we don't hear in a year and a half, after there is a baby, that he's doing her wrong. I just see it in him, and I just seem like there is going to be the day where I hear something negative like that about him. Okay, let's go on to the next people. So the experts and Kevin speak to David and Madison. Everyone's still looking for clarification on the timeline when they hooked up. And David said that he is going to politely decline. And again, I have to ask why. What are we hiding? What is there to know? What is it that you don't want us to know? What did you do? What did she do? Because I think if it's something he did, he would probably come out and say, but he's trying to protect her. And it's so funny. She seems to look at him when that question is asked. And they probably got together and came up with the idea to say they politely decline. What I don't like about these two is that they display too much PDA. They're overdoing it. It's in a way, it makes me think they're trying to make us believe that whatever they got is real. And what I really believe at this point, that Madison will act like that, try to make us believe it's all real. I think she will stay with David longer than she wants to, because she doesn't want to hear, oh, I knew it wouldn't last. I knew this, was a joke, this relationship. The how you get them is how you lose them type of thing. Because I think she would stay because she's too competitive. And her leaving him is like being a loser. Okay, so the last scene, a group scene, everybody's together and Kevin is talking to them. And what do you know? Ikechi is back. He has to fulfill the contract. So he's back sitting with the group. He didn't leave the building. They asked them what bothered them the most, and I guess it's comments in social media. And Camille shared that I guess people thought she wore dentures, poor thing. Alan said he liked the comments, though he had to shield his mom from the situation because she took it hard. And so did his friends. His friends took it hard, and they were standing up for Alan. They felt bad for him, and Alan kept trying to tell them, it's okay, guys, it's okay. So even then, Alan's there to comfort his friends who are fighting for him. They're hurt for him. And Alan is just an A1 individual, a good man. Now, Madison shared that her 85-year-old grandmother was, I guess, defending her online. And I guess grandmother didn't really know the truth at one point. And then I guess she shared with her father, who had to tell the grandmother that, she needs to cool it with defending Madison. How embarrassing. Kevin asked about their experience. One person, actually was Ikechi, that said that he claimed to be hurt. So I questioned, was he hurt? I'm interested to know when he was hurt and why he was hurt. I don't know, Ikechi. Michelle feels that she's grown and she feels differently now than when she started the process. Madison, to me, still comes off as a fake individual. She tried, I don't know what her answer was, but it just seemed old fake Madison. I didn't get any realness from her. One thing was interesting. Camille was standing up for David about some of the comments. When people were talking about his work ethic and things about him that simply weren't true, she stood up for him, though she said some of it was warranted. And we all know what that was. At the end of the reunion, they showed clips of the couple during the process, and overall they looked like they had fun. Even Ikechi looked like he had a good time in the clips that they showed. So it wasn't a bad season. I mean, it was an interesting season. Michelle really made it interesting. But that was it. There is going to be a Where Are They Now episode, so I'll cover that. And I think, hopefully, after next week, we're done with this for now, or season 18 should come to a close. Hey, thanks for staying with me to the end. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it, and I thank you in advance. But I gotta go because I got living to do. Bye.